Hey, Kumi, what do you think of the show?
Well, mate, apart from having a very tight arm and a very long couple of days, I'm going to say these guys have put together an absolute. It's been very informative for not only me as part of the media, but for everyone else that attended. And it was capped off with a wonderful gala night, which you're going to see in this video. And so sit back and enjoy it and come along for the ride. And now I'm very tired because I'm recording this at the end of the night, not at the start of the whole show. So I'm going to go to bed and you can watch what I recorded for you.
Hello.
In our industry, compliance may as well be a four-letter word. We don't like it, we need it. It's not because we don't want to operate safely and we don't want to adhere to heavy vehicle national law. It's time-consuming, it's costly, it's confusing, and it's overcomplicated.
Yeah, that's my story too.
The third stand as you walk in.
Third stand as you come in, yeah.
The vehicle approval the other day, and it had on it that the driver, one of the stipulations at the end, that the driver needed to understand the vehicle approval for the PBS vehicle.
What are some of the things that we need to do to encourage more young people to come into the industry?
We didn't realise we had to cut in half. They split the middle. Really?
I've got to say that this conversation is what I love about it.
You should have heard us last time. We were even
That's what I said.
Mentor is probably Shano, my dad. Yeah, just sort of from age of about 12 years old, just sort of going with him and learning everything I can and just trying my hardest to be like him. As you can tell, I've got a good public speaking of him as well. Yeah, just everything sort of he knows. He tries to teach me the right way, and some days I'd listen, some days I wouldn't, but he's pretty patient and looks after me pretty well, and lucky to be given a start at 18 driving trucks with him. So.
Thanks, AJ. Kyle.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a gala evening of the Livestock Transporters Association of Victoria. For your own personal identification, in case you've been in a coma for the last 40 years, or been in the Refugee Detention Centre, my name's Sam Kekovich. And guess what? I'm going to be MC for the entire night. Funny thing, I was just musing last night as I was masticating on a 16-point rack of lamb. That's chewing, by the way, mate. And I was contemplating what I could possibly impart on this microcosm of wealth and influence in this convocation of scholastic talent. And quite frankly, I had no fucking idea. So I asked for 3 kids. I've got 3 kids at home, one of each. And they said, guys, why don't you do what you normally do, Dad, and just wing it? So that's entirely exactly what we're going to do. A truly great Australian night. Transport industry is a nipple that nurtures our nation. It is a truly Australian, and I love being in an audience like this because it exudes some wonderful memories of the real Australia, not the soft-cock nation that we've become now. But the hard, resilient, those wonderful days, remember? When Qantas air hostesses were attractive. Leaving out a pulse. When a cougar was a bourbon, the keyboard was a piano, and the hard drive was a long trip from the country. And if you had a 3.5-inch floppy, you fucking act like hell. No one ever found out about it. But a lot of you would remember those great days when we used our hands. We never had TikTok, PlayStations, or these sort of things. We built billy carts, remember them? Came down the side of the hill at 100 miles an hour. No seatbelt, fell off, kick up your arse, bit of mercurochrome, and went straight back up the fucking hill. The Australian way. We got locked down with COVID. 3 years of our lives were taken from us. 75 days of curfew. You know what a curfew is? Where you're compelled to remain in the confines of your own abode for 75 days. Now that was A-OK. Now don't jump down my throat, but marriage is a wonderful institution. But if anyone can tell me you can sit down with your missus for 75 nights and have a riveting bit of dialogue and enjoy your meal, that's a challenging aspect in itself. Particularly for some of us that enjoy the occasional swim outside the flags. Everyone got the drift there. And gentlemen, what is it? What is it in a curfew? The inevitable one day will happen to you. It's probably happened to you, I don't know. It certainly happened to me. You walk in the bathroom, you're going to get up in the bathroom simultaneously or a split second later, and there she is in the bathroom, starkest, looking at herself. And that's happened to me, my dear wife, and then poses that ugly question. Do you think I've got a fat ass? Well, I'm going to be implicitly candid with you, I can't tell a lie. And I said, darling, well look, you know, you're getting on a bit and we've got to be truthful, you actually have. Well, I don't talk about 9 on the Richter scale. But then I dug a bigger hole for myself. I try to get out of it. I said, if it's any consolation, I said, it's a very small bathroom. Well, this industry is a very strong lobby group. You can move mountains. And it is absolutely fundamental to the very survival of our people. Ferrying stock, foodstuffs, the role you play is very, very significant. But without further ado, and I'll regale you a little bit later on, but I think you should hear from the President to officially welcome you here tonight. Please put your hands together for Russell Bouchard.
Righto, so good evening everyone. Before I kick off, I'd just like to acknowledge again the incredible facilities, service and catering from the team at Move over the past 2 days. And the Woolshed for their great setup tonight for this special occasion, so can we all give them a round of applause for it. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you here tonight. And I thank you all for making the time to attend the conference and the dinner. Great to see so many familiar faces and a lot of new faces this year, which is very exciting for our association. Operators, industry partners, sponsors, government representatives all in one room. Your presence shows that this industry still values connection, progress and standing together in the face of challenge. It's no secret, the past 12 months have tested us all. We've had to navigate the ongoing impacts of drought, rising costs and growing rate of compliance that continues to land squarely on the shoulders of those working hard to keep rural Australia moving. And while the challenges have been big, I'm proud to say that LRTA has not stood still. Our advocacy work over the past year has been constant, whether it's pushing for better livestock truck access, expanding HPLV route approvals, supporting the drought hay network, or working alongside Agriculture Victoria on long overdue solutions for effluent and truck wash infrastructure. Sometimes you might not see what's happening beyond the scenes, but I want to assure you that your association is always working, and every bit of progress, whether it benefits you directly today or lays the groundwork for the future. I'd like to take this moment, breathe, Coley, breathe, to acknowledge my family. As many of you know, running a transport business with a full-time commitment on its own. Taking on the role of president adds another layer of responsibility, and I'm incredibly grateful for their support. Please be there forever. Now another hard one for me. Can I please ask the executive team to come to the stage? Thank you for showing up, speaking up, and staying committed. Angus has been a strong voice in the rural areas across the board.
Give him a hug.
Breathe. Shane, for your steady presence and your advocacy on behalf of small operators in the South West, mate. Done a great job.
Thank you.
Anna, your ongoing support to the financial side, always offering calm, thoughtful contribution to all our discussions. How many do you want? And for your strategic input, especially as we modernise our system, improving our communications, and for your just straight out, this is what it is. Fabulous to the executive to have someone like you. So Elena, your dedication, professionalism and care for the association is unmatched. You hold everyone together, but we're incredibly lucky to have you in our role. I'd also like to thank Sharon, Maggie and colleagues for supporting us, ensuring the conference ran smoothly and trying to give me a bit of help on how I deliver stuff up here. So could I please get you three to come on?
Thank you. Thank you, Russell. I won't miss out the hug.
By the way, just queue up here, we'll all get a gift here, sure.
Without the LRTAV and groups like the ALRTA, there will be no voice in the room to speak for rural transport. I would really like to thank all the sponsors who step up every year and supply auction items, knowing that all the funds raised go back to this association to continue our great work advocating on your behalf. Thank you for your support. It's been an honour to serve you as your president, and I look forward to continuing to fight for fair, practical and sustainable outcomes for all rural transporters in the year ahead. I haven't read this much since I was in kindergarten. So I'd like now to welcome and hand over to MC for the evening, the Lamb Ambassador, Sam Kekovich, and I'm quite sure he's going to keep us quite entertained. He's got plenty of stories to tell. So we'll give him a piece of duck, we'll give him a lamb chop, and we'll see how he goes tonight. But Sam, thank you very much for showing up and help us create a great night for
you. Well said, Russell. Firstly, it was a straight from the heart speech, and that's what makes us so unique. You know, showing emotion and loyalty, it just exuded. It wasn't a stage managed scripted event, but to see that emotion come through was fantastic. It's not a political sermon tonight. Yeah, it's not that hard getting in a camera, is it? Right, let's move on now. The Shane Knight Memorial Award for 2025. Would Mick Debnam please come to the stage? I've got to call Mark up. Here he is, just out of the loo. Do you wash your hands, Mark? He doesn't piss in his fingers. What a good Aussie,
Yeah, thanks very much, Sam. Once again, it's my pleasure to be involved with this award, and it's my pleasure to introduce both Janine, who's Shane's wife, and also Shane's eldest boy, Mark, better known as Ralph. So put your hands together for him, please.
As a family, the Knight family, we are beyond proud to have this award in Shane's name, and it gives us great pleasure to still be associated with the Victorian Livestock Association. Tonight, I'm handing over the reins to my eldest son to have a chat about what's important about health, safety, and the Shane Knight Memorial Award. Thank you.
I'd just like to thank everybody for being here, because it is really, like Mum said, it is emotional, and you know, everything with Dad, and but it's not about Dad, it's about what people do for the industry. And like Russell said earlier, you may not see it happening, but the association is always working, and there's people behind the scenes, and that's what Dad used to do. And there's somebody that's picked up from where Dad was. There's always somebody doing something, and never be afraid to say something if you see something that's not right. Like my dad always said, he said, you know, you got to support. Well, I look back to 9 years ago, it will be now, when he received his lifetime membership for into the Trucking Hall of Fame when he was sick. He was very proud of that, but he was more proud of being part of the LRTAV, and he said, support the people that support you, support your association, support the sponsors, and he was very, very proud of being a part of this. And I'm sure he'd say, oh, it's all fucking bullshit. But I'm sure, as we are as a family, he'd be extremely proud of having this award. But it's not about Dad, it's about the people that are doing the right things for all the operators and all the workers out there. And it's not about Dad, it's about the people that are doing the right thing for the industry. And I believe the people the company that's receiving it this year is very deserving of it. I haven't been there for 20 years, and it's been a long time since I've been there, but Mum's just given to me now, so tonight it's been given to GBR Australia GBP, can't even read, too many years, Proprietary Limited, which is Puong Abattoirs, for improvement of their unloading facilities at their abattoirs at Puong. So we'd like to say congratulations.
We're proud to be part of the industry that continues to improve, innovate, and are grateful to the Association for encouraging excellence across Victoria. Thank you again for this award, and have a great night.
On that note, don't worry, mate, it's better to light the candle and curse the darkness. And remember, every time you take a drink of water, remember those that dug the well. Slightly profound, but I'm sure it'll hit the mark. On that note, I think it might be an idea if we adjourn and enjoy each other's company, a bit of networking, enjoy the main course, and we'll be back with our keynote speaker and a lot more entertainment. All having a good night? Thank you and enjoy. I'd like to call upon the President, who is going to name the crate conversion competition winner.
Righto, thanks all. I'm not going to do all this because, as we know, the one-armed man at the back here is a bloody lot better talking than what I am. One thing I'd like to do, I'd like to call Mick Braid to the stage. Burn trailers for years and years and years, as long as I can remember from when I was a kid, have been a great supporter of our association. They make a great product. They work with us very well. I'd also like to thank Wade, Nana and Askey, who have been long-time members of the association and put themselves out here today to wash up one of their burn crates and bring it here for the Crate Conversion Challenge.
Thanks very much, Russell. Yeah, just to resonate what he said, burn trailers are phenomenal supporters, as you've seen here today. Also, I'd like to acknowledge Sam. You did say our society's gone soft, and you're right, because if anyone's taken any notice of the President crying all weekend, so we understand, Sam, we know what you're saying.
Don't steal my thunder yet, I haven't finished on it yet.
So the Crate Conversion Challenge, there's a couple of little shout-outs before we get right into it. I don't know whether anyone's seen Meg and Archie, Wade and Nana's kids, do the Crate Conversion Challenge. A few people knew, and I was lucky to be one of them, but Meg done it half a crate in a time of 2.58, which was phenomenal for a young lady. Well done, Meg. And Archie, clearly like his father, he's on some sort of substances, because his was 2.02 with a suspected broken collarbone, fractured collarbone. So good on you, Archie. Now we had Shepparton from Bramstead's done an amazing job, Kyle from Edmonds's, Will from Morris's, Dwayne's from White's Transport, and of course the old boy himself. So just going through the list, we'll just go second to first because we don't want to embarrass some of the slower ones like Wade. So come runners up was Dwayne White from White's Transports with a time of 7.08. And as I just alluded to before with Archie, and because we are politically correct, Sam, clearly there's a few substances up at Echuca, because for probably the 17th year running, with a time of 5.37, 3 seconds above the rest, Wade Hanaski. And thanks to Facebook, this bloke's 50 years old.
Thank you. It's always a joy to do it. When we started at Ballarat 2 years ago, there was a bit of a round table on the Wednesday night, wasn't it? What do we do on a Saturday arvo? You know, so we will drink beer and convert a crate. You know, I didn't expect to get anything for it, but as the joy of it, and to show the sponsors what we do. Hard gig, you don't understand crates. So it just shows you what we do in our day, and we're happy to show you, you know, so we love what we do. Thank you.
For Mick Braid and the Byrne family, as well as all our competitors, I'd like you all to stand up, raise a toast and give them a big round of applause, please.
Once again, everyone gets a mention. There's always a mention of commendation, and of course, you run third or fourth, you all get a standing ovation. Fuck me, this country's real. What you don't know about Russ also, his first girlfriend and his first car both had the same name. They're both escorts. No. With the greatest degree of respect, love, I know that. He chose very wisely. I don't know how frustrated you lot must be, but this land of milk and honey and plenty, you know we rank 10th in literacy and numeracy behind Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan, a population of 6 million. We've got one computer, and that's a shitty Chinese Lenovo. We rank 10th behind Kazakhstan. Is that kid again? There's the other thing. My mum would have kicked me up the arse that hard now, and look, we'd be silent for 3 weeks. Anyhow, that's how parents can't parent anymore. Teachers can't teach and police can't police. Anyhow, that's I didn't mean that sadly, but love, you could well do with a refresher course. God, I walked out of a pub the other day. This is how far we've slipped. I ran into 2 lesbians out the front. They gave me a Rolex watch, and I said, I think you misunderstood me. I said, I want a watch. But when I came back the second time, we just don't laugh anymore. I was in court the other day giving character reference to a mate of mine who'd fallen on hard times. In the previous case, it'd roll over about 20 minutes or half an hour, but it got my attention. Because it was a terribly un-Australian thing. It was a stabbing charge. And the guy was defending himself. And the magistrate said to him, he said, how big are the cuts? He said, one was 5'10", the other one was 6'4". We go to Dreamworld. You been to Dreamworld? $50 to get in. No sex and no cocaine. Don't start me on Wet and Wild. Anyhow, things are going along swimmingly at the moment. Now, before we get underway with what I call Superstar Act, is the kitchen staff out there? Could the kitchen staff come out, please? How good was the lamb? Hey? Who was stiff enough to have the rubbery chicken? Oh, no, I meant the chicken. Come on, girls, quickly, don't do your hair and makeup. Now, this for a hard-working bunch. Give them a big round of applause. Thank you, ladies. That was fantastic.
Already chicken, Sam.
Oh, you heard that, did you? I'm a lamb man. I have 21 lamb meals a week. I do, it's part of my contract. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on a serious note, I want you to listen intently. Without being disparaging or demeaning to a lot of you people here, very few of you have stepped outside of base camp. Outside of myself and this other person that I'm going to attend to know what it's like at the lofty heights of ultimate success. Oh, that's perfect. I'm just being facetious. This lady is, we talk of courage in many ways, in many terms. You know, we talk about the brutality of standing up and having a fist fight. We talk about adversity, we talk about droughts, we talk about, I don't know, there's many and varied forms of defining courage. But I would never know where to start by defining someone who comes to the crossroads of life and compelled to make a choice, a decision that is very, very difficult. I think in my case it would be very easy, because I might have just succumbed. But of course there are those in our midst that have got enormous powers and reach enormous heights and serve as a wonderful inspiration. And ladies and gentlemen, our speaker tonight is one of the highest quality, been at 2 Olympics, she's an equestrian, 2 world titles. Would you please make her welcome, the one, the only, Emma Pooh. You'll be right.
Oh my God.
Don't have bigger hurdles than that, for God's sake. Give a big round of applause. Emma Pooh.
That was my dad who just helped lift me on, and he said to me before we came up, oh, do you get nervous? And I was like, not really, but I think I'm more nervous about you guys lifting me onto the stage, so thanks for not dropping me. That's a good start. I guess I'll just jump straight in then. I'm here tonight, I guess, to tell you a little bit about my story. And in order to do that, I'm going to take you back to 2002, when I was an 11-year-old girl who was completely animal obsessed, but particularly obsessed with horses, and had a family that was not horsey. So mum, dad didn't ride, and I was the little girl that was always asking for a pony, for pony riding lessons, and I think they thought it was just a bit of a phase that I would eventually, you know, they could just keep putting it off and I'd eventually sort of forget about it. But luckily for me, in 2002, I entered a horse competition that was run through a TV show called The Saddle Club. Obviously, being a horse-obsessed young girl, that was my favourite, come home after school and watch some Saddle Club. And they actually ran a competition to win a pony for a year. And out of, I think, about 40,000 kids in Australia that entered, I was lucky enough to win. So I got a pony for 12 months, everything included, everything costs were covered. And I sort of start there because was one of the really defining moments in my life that particularly jump-started my riding career. I think at that point, Mum and Dad probably realised that it wasn't just a phase, and Dad also likes to sometimes make joke to the fact that it was sort of like giving a junkie their first hit of heroin, and I can think that that's probably pretty spot on. Once I had a taste, there was no going back, so I was completely in. And yeah, I started eventing. So dressage, show jumping, cross country, that was my forte. Loved it. I quickly moved up the grades in eventing and became quite a competitive young rider, and continued to ride all through high school, started university, and then I actually got offered a job riding over in Germany, so I moved over there for nearly 6 months and learnt a lot doing that. And then in 2013, I was actually coming home from a horse competition with one of my really good mates, and she was driving. We had the 2 horses in the back of the float, and coming down the Melbourne Highway, we were in a really serious car accident and involved in a collision with a truck that had jackknifed coming around a bend on the Melbourne Highway. And yeah, I remember coming around the bend and the roads were a bit wet. It was about 8:30 at night, so it was starting to get dark, and yeah, I just remember seeing the truck's headlights coming towards us, and then I was knocked unconscious for several minutes. And I woke up in the car, and initially I thought that my legs were actually stuck between the dashboard and my seat. It's weird, so many thoughts can go through your head in such a short amount of time, but that was my first thought, and then my attention was taken to the fact that the whole car kept shaking. It just kept moving and shaking, and it took me a few moments to figure out what was going on, and it was actually one of the horses in the back of the float that was thrashing around and moving the whole car, and I just remember in that moment feeling completely helpless because all we wanted to do was get out and help in some way, and we couldn't. So that was awful, and one of the bits of the accident that still really sticks with me. Unfortunately, both of the horses were killed in the accident, and another lady that was actually travelling in a van behind us was also killed in the accident. So I guess I'll start with that by saying both my friend and I feel extremely lucky to still be here because it easily could have not been the case. The damage to the car and the float and the truck and the van was horrific, and how we're still here today I have no idea. But we were in the car. I was in the car probably for about an hour before the ambulance were able to get me out, and I was taken straight to the Royal Melbourne Hospital where I had life-saving abdominal surgery to stop internal bleeding, and then extensive spinal surgery. And I had, severe damage to my spinal cord as well. So I'm now an L2 paraplegic, and yeah, there were multiple other injuries. I had a knock to the head, a bleed on the brain, fractured skull, fractured sternum, punctured lung, other things, punctured shoulder, clavicle, thank you, my ankle, I think I had a compound fracture. But yeah, the most long-lasting was obviously the damage to my spine and spinal cord. And I remember when I came out of the surgery, I had a tube down my throat that was assisting me to breathe initially, so I couldn't talk. And again, there's so many things that you want to ask when you finally wake up. And I started to communicate with my nurse, who was amazing, she got me a pad and paper so I could write some things down. But again, there's a lot of drugs in the system, so some of the writing was probably not that coherent, but I did my best. And we sort of occasionally would do little hand gestures and things that, you know, she would try and figure out what I was asking her. And one of the first things that I asked, I did a walking motion with my fingers to ask if I would walk again. And that's when I was told that it was very unlikely due to the damage to my spinal cord. So obviously a lot of information to take in as a young 21-year-old girl who still had, you know, my whole life ahead of me. And yeah, I guess in that moment, my entire life was completely turned upside down. And I guess my family, I would say, they played a huge role in, you know, getting my life back on track and supporting me through a really challenging time. Because I suppose I was in ICU for about 10 days, then, you know, rehab and everything I was in for a really long time. But I had to learn how to do everything again. So it wasn't just the fact that I couldn't walk anymore. I had to learn how to sit up on my own. I had to learn how to roll over in bed, how to dress myself, how to brush my teeth, like everything that you do on a daily basis and probably most of the time take for granted. I had to relearn that as a 21-year-old woman. So that in itself was challenging, but you know, I very early on set myself a goal, and again, it wasn't really, it sounds a bit cliche, but it wasn't really a question of if I would be able to ride again, but when I would ride again. So that was also one of the very questions that I asked really early on, was when I would be able to ride again. And my spinal surgeon gave me 6 months was the you know, the time frame, even though at 3 months I was pushing and asking if I could do it sooner, but 6 months was the time frame. So anyway, I obviously had a lot of time in bed as well. So I was doing a lot of rehab, but I also had a lot of time to just rest and recover. And in that time, it was actually one of my dad's bosses at the time gave me an iPad because he wanted to give me something that I could use in the hospital. And I started Googling, and I just started Googling sports, equestrian, para-equestrian, and I just went down this rabbit hole of, you know, para-sport, and that's when I saw that the next Paralympics was going to be in Rio in 2016. And so Mum and Dad came to visit that night, and, you know, it was just a casual, like, oh, how's your day? And I said, yeah, pretty good. You know, how's your day? Yeah, good. And then they said, oh, so what'd you do? I said, oh, well, I've just, you know, been doing a bit of looking into some para-sport. I said, just so you guys know, I'm not an eventer anymore. I'm now going to be a para-dressage rider. I reckon I'm going to be graded as maybe a grade 2, and I'm going to go to the Paralympics in Rio in 2016. And this was probably two weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I'm looking at 3 weeks after my accident. And again, at the time, it was probably just a bit of a dream goal, you know, like I did say it, and I said it probably just as this, oh, wouldn't that be amazing if that happened? But at the time, I probably didn't think it would be a reality. And it was with the support of my family, friends, that it actually did become a reality. So 6 months after the accident, I was back in the saddle. A good family friend of ours, Glenn Carter, he rode his bike around Australia in order to raise money for me to be able to purchase a horse to get me on a team. So, you know, the support behind me was huge, enormous, and still to this day I can't put into words just how incredible, you know, everything that everyone did for me was. And yeah, we went to the Paralympics in 2016, the World Championships in 2018, Tokyo in 2021, and the World Championships in 2022. I campaigned for Paris last year, and unfortunately I had a fall. I fell off the horse, which was the first time I've fallen off probably in 10 or 11 years, and it wasn't a good one. I didn't do it very delicately or ladylike, I did it well, and completely sort of shattered my pelvis, and I still I still got back in the saddle and did all the qualifying events, but unfortunately the time frame that I had in the saddle was just not enough to get me across the line. But we made reserve rider for the Paris team, so that in itself was pretty awesome. And then now we've just bought a new horse that hopefully we'll be campaigning for the World Championships next year, LA 2028, and then I have promised my partner that I'll try for Brisbane in 2032 and that I'll retire after that. So you've all heard it here. I'll hang it up after that. Thank you. But that's, I guess, you know, I could just keep telling a million stories and talking about my horses, because you'll learn that about horse people. Once they start talking about their horses, they won't stop. But I did just take down a couple of my little dot points of just, I suppose, points that I kind of wanted to convey through my story, some of the challenges and things that I've had to overcome, and some of the things that I've learned just in my time. The first thing I would say is that you don't know what anybody else is going through on a day-to-day. Everybody has their own stuff, and a lot of the time you don't know what it is. So be kind. I think that that's a really important thing, that no matter what, if you can always try and give people the benefit of the doubt, that's something that I've tried to live by now. Don't let the fear of failure stop you from trying. I think that's probably one of the things that we let get in the way a lot, is that fear of failure, so then you don't do it because you're worried about what if, you know, if you set yourself a goal, but what if you don't get there? But I can tell you from my experiences that it's the failures and the things that don't work out, that they're the things that teach you the most and shape you the most. So just, yeah, don't let the fear of failure stop you from trying. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. That's something that I tend to try and do on a daily basis, but that's just another one. The importance of goal setting. So everyone's different, but for me, setting myself goals, you know, that goal that I set myself in hospital 2 weeks, 3 weeks after my accident, when I easily could have just been in a hospital bed feeling sorry for myself, you know, that motivated me. It gave my new life a sense of purpose and meaning. Goal setting is a really great way of holding yourself accountable, and that's just something that, yeah, I tend to still try and do today. And finally, just putting things into perspective. I think on a day-to-day we can tend to maybe give too much attention to some things that might actually be, in the scheme of things, quite trivial, not actually have maybe as big of an impact on our lives as you know, as might be the case. So trying to, yeah, I guess put things into perspective is something, again, I've really tried to do. So on that note, I'll thank you for having me as your guest speaker tonight. I hope you've taken something from my little ramble, and yeah, that's all. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Good stuff.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you.
1,700 being done out. Sold. Right, Anthony. We've come to the final item tonight, boys. Hot 19. We're going to call it sweep the MCG for a home and away game next year. Fully catered, with the option of having up to 16 guests. 14,500 second call. 14,500 sell. Third and final call. Out. Over. Sold. Well done. President Russell. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your night.
This is the end of the formal part of the night.
thank you all very much. I can't thank you enough for the support tonight. Have a bit of fun, enjoy yourselves, and let's come back next year and make it bigger and better. Thank you.
So, that was a pretty shit night, wasn't it?
Horrible.
Mate, you wouldn't come again, would you?
No.
I mean, enough to make you quit the association?
I think so, definitely. Yeah.
Good fun.
No, it's good.
Fun.
It's been a good night.
The conference, enjoy it?
Yeah, it's
Get
great.
something out of it?
Definitely. Always learn something. So.
Good on you, mate. Yeah. That's what they're hoping to achieve.
That's it.
Cheers.
No, it's great.
Excuse me, sir. Any comments on the conference?
Oh, amazing. Thank you very much for coming, mate, and thank me for being here. Russell, love him dearly. Done a lot of work with Russell recently the last couple of months. Angus sitting right there. We're going to make Angus very, very famous as we can be. These guys have really, really stepped up. My footprint in this industry is very, very broad and deep. And I've never seen a sector of this industry step up like Angus and Russell and this stock, like all these businesses ever done. I've never seen it before.
Excuse me, can I just butt in for a moment? Phyllis, lovely to see you again. How have you found, I'll hold that. How did you find the conference?
Great, it's been fantastic. Getting better every year.
It is, isn't it? The organisation this year was brilliant, wasn't it?
Really great.
Yeah.
And I've heard 4 people say if it's here every year, they'll always come.
Wonderful. That's what you want.
Yep.
Now, just more members are always required. So people, if you're watching this, join up.
Time to join up.
It's lovely to see you as always.
I love seeing you too.
Next time.
You're right now live.
Oh, thank you, darling. Yeah, you can hold that.
Okay. So what do I say? We're proud to be a sponsor of the LRTAV, of the what? Association. Lifetime Association. Young Driver Award sponsor. Okay.
You know that's recorded, everything you just said.
Okay.
I didn't hear it, but we will when we get home.
No, you'll edit this though, right? Won't you?
I'm sorry?
You'll edit this though, right?
I can't hear a bloody thing. Just tell me what you thought of the conference.
The conference has been a fantastic insight into young driver.
You got to hold that.
The conference has been a fantastic insight into the Young Driver Award and the Livestock Association and what they do and bring to the industry. So our table, PSC, Griffiths Goodall Insurance Brokers, based in Shepparton, are very proud sponsors of this event, and it's been fantastic to attend over the last 2 days, as well as the gala dinner. And we really hope that this association continues. Thank you.
That's one. I got intakes and outtakes off that one. All right, scan the table.
We'll need a copy of this later.
How did you find the conference?
We've only been here for the dinner.
Actually, we're just here for the food.
I saw a sign that said dinner. We're just on a date.
You're a cheapskate, aren't you? Right, free food. Hey, darling, would you like to come out to dinner? I've heard there's a gig up the road. They'll never know a couple of ringings. Good one. Okay, I'll move on now and find someone who actually attended the LRTAV, whatever, the bloody conference that we've been at for the last 2 days. Now, were you at the conference?
Yes, I was.
Oh, thank God for that. What's your name?
Is this an interview?
Yeah.
Show me the money.
What, you want to be paid to do an interview? I'll donate it to the LRTAV. How's that?
Daniel Mavis.
Hey, Dan. Mate, how did you find the conference?
Not too bad. Really good.
Yeah.
Really good outcomes.
You got something out of it?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of passion.
Absolutely. There's a lot of passion in this room. There's a lot of people really passionate about the industry in this room, and without these passionate people in this room, the industry's going nowhere.
Beautiful.
$5, please.
No. In your dreams. Comments about the conference?
Fantastic conference.
Terrific range of content. I think it was the presentations were all very engaging and beautifully. But I think really the content was there, that range of, I think it was really good. The technical stuff wasn't terribly technical, but pitched really well.
And good support from you guys.
We always support where we can, absolutely.
Which they thank you.
Yep.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
a couple of nice trucks out the front.
A couple of really good trucks out the front.
Nothing like a bit of publicity.
The T620 obviously is the new truck we've got out there.
Mate, yeah. Mate, thanks for your time. Thanks for your support on behalf of the organisers of the show. We know you always support the industry right throughout.
Yeah, we're always strong supporters of the LRTAV, and the livestock guys mean a lot to us. Yeah. It's terrific to be involved, and we enjoy being involved. We look forward to coming back again next year.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for your time.
No worries.
Right. Craig and Colette, Trucking Life. Let's get that in there.
How are you?
Right. Great supporters of the LRTAV.
Love to be.
LRTAV.
LRTAV.
It's getting late. I'm having trouble spelling. But you've supported this show for quite a while now.
Well, I support every association.
Well,
so
yeah, you do. Do, mate.
Always show up to what we can.
You're on the board of a couple of them as well.
Yeah, we try.
So you do a wonderful job. Just your feedback on this last couple of days.
Oh, great show. A lot of people here, and I love the support that the industry gives back to the LRTAV. The stockies are always good. They're always good turnouts, and the sponsors are a big thing for these guys.
No organisation survives without them, do they?
They don't. No, our own organisation doesn't. So but there's people here that support us, so we're always happy to support them.
Yeah, good on you guys. It's good to see you as always, and you're doing wonderful things with that trailer.
Well, that's another thing, we're invited here by Alina from the LRTVA, so it's always nice to support events like this.
Yeah, maybe next year you're hoping to get some of the local schools involved in that as well.
Yes, we'll actually be back here in a few weeks, back in Shepparton.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We get around, man.
That was a good start. So, hello. Who are you?
Brody.
You're at the conference for the last 2 days? What did you think of it?
It's been good.
Impressed?
Very interesting, yeah.
Yeah? Learned some stuff?
Absolutely.
I did. I learned how to hold a camera above my head for 5 hours tonight. Well worthwhile. You'll be back next year?
Absolutely.
And you